Hello YouTube, this is Anne Elizabeth. Today I'm going to do a video about what to pack, what kind of clothes to pack when you're going to the tropics. I have been to Thailand 3 times, and Thailand, in the area where I am, Pattaya, it varies quite a lot how much humidity there is in the air. It can vary from 50% to 95%. But in my opinion, it's fairly comfortable. But still, it's quite hot, and in the winter when I'm there, it can go up to 34 C in the middle of the day. So, and it's practically always above the level where you sweat, except at night. So I have some trusted and true and tested things that I have used. These are new. These are t-shirts that are very, very thin. It's organic cotton, and one of my local stores has started using and selling these. And so organic cotton, if they're really thin, I would say would work very, very well. Cotton gets soaked through, so if you go into a mall from being on the street and then go in, then you will get cold, because they have very aggressive air condition at 7-Eleven, malls, and many other places. So if you're prone to getting cold, be aware that these may not be the best option. These are kaftans, and I buy them on the street in Thailand. They are sold just about everywhere. These are the best ones I've ever found. They are made of very thin viscose, and they don't wrinkle. These have been lying for quite a while. They fray a bit, and the kaftans are basically one piece of fabric folded over, stitched up the sides, and then cut a hole, a V-shaped hole for the head. So these will work for very thin people and plus sizes up to quite plus. If you're very thin, there's a belt sewn into it. Just tighten that, and it looks like a dress that's quite fairly short, but it looks really good. The bigger you are, of course, the less good it'll look, but it's still one of the few things that is easily available, very good, and something that I would recommend minimum buy one of these for use on the beach as cover-up. Since they are not cotton, you will not soak through them in the same way. If you sweat and there's no wind, then sweat will just run down your body. It will not go through the fabric in the same way. But at the same time, these are floaty and they're open, and sometimes the seams in the sides will just rip because this material is not very strong. So if you have ripped half of the way, it will be very open to wind, and that helps in cooling you down. These are one of my favorite things to use in Thailand. I also use athletic shirts. I think this one is Nike, and I bought it in Thailand. They have outlet stores for Adidas and Nike at Jomtien. And the ones that I use are those that are the thinnest and have sections that are sort of broken through. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I can see right through these. So these, in my opinion, these work best if you are going to sweat and you know you're going to sweat, and you just want something that works well when you're sweating a ton. So if you're going running, if you're biking like I do, then these are going to work really well. And I have even brought long-sleeved ones to cut down on the sun exposure because I don't like sunscreen. So these are, I bring several of these when I go. This is a rash shirt. A rash shirt is something that was, I think, invented in Australia because surfers were out all day in the waves, and they needed something to work to cut down on the sun exposure. So this particular one, bought at Decathlon in Spain, is SPF 30, but many of them are SPF 50. And these are much better for you than sunscreen if you're going to be in the water, like water sports, and preferably long sleeves. There are also bottoms. Depending on your size, you may want to buy them back home or in a country where these are not too expensive, because I've only seen several years ago, I saw these in Speedo, I think was brand, more expensive brand, so I haven't seen these too readily available. While we're on the topic of water, oh, these are one of each pair. Anyway, I tend to use bathing shoes. These are just neoprene and a rubber sole, and I buy those at home because, again, I only saw one pair and they were Speedo, and they were very expensive in Thailand. I do not see these readily available, but in my country, in Norway, I find them every year at Coop, Oops, or Extra, so I buy them there and I bring them. These are, in my opinion, best in the pool to avoid getting plantar warts, and they are also okay to walk in. Not so good on all beaches. It depends on the sand, because if there are waves, these will just fill up with sand. But I love these for warming my feet and protecting them against what's on the surfaces of the pool and around the pool. And again, about shoes, most people I meet and see in Thailand are using sandals or flip-flops, but I prefer really good soles. So these are ClimaCool shoes from Adidas, and they are essentially, usually they have just holes underneath, and the material is, the breeze will just go right through. So I use these, and I also buy flip-flops and shoes for using inside, just slip-ons. For bottoms, I mainly use very thin cotton tights. These are by one of the stores in Norway. And the reason is that I get cold easily, so when we go out at night, I use these because then I don't get cold. In Thailand, there are lots of shorts you can just buy on the street. These are a good example that I found, and I expect you will find shorts just about anywhere in Asia, in the tropics. In addition to this, I like the Adidas football shorts, I think, athletic shorts. They're thin and they have an inner thing that's meant to be instead of panties, probably meant for men. Those are really good. They're sort of floaty and let through air. I used to use bike shorts, you know, the the regular kind that's not meant for actual bikes, but that shape. But I found that they get very, very sweaty, and unless I'm running, then I'm not too fond of that. It gets too much, especially the nylon ones I had. They're great for running, but I sort of stopped using those. I like using jackets. My cousin tends to have air conditioning on in the car, and he likes it freezing. So I like to have a jacket. In the past I would have a regular hoodie in this kind of material. Those are a little hot, except for sometimes maybe in the car, but just about anywhere else they're usually a little bit hot. But I had a cotton jacket last time that didn't have any lining, and this is something I just found, that it's a shirt. It's not really a jacket, but it's basically the same function. It's fairly thin, but thicker than a regular shirt. It has a hoodie and no lining. This works in temperatures from 24°C to yeah, about maybe 28°C, which the temperatures will be at night, and occasionally it goes lower where I am. But you know, it depends on where you go and what the humidity is and temperatures. Two more items that are, in my opinion, quite essential. This is a sarong that I bought on the street. It's very thin viscose, and these are, I use them as cover up. If I don't want to throw on a pair of shorts, I use them for a lot of things. And this is a pashmina. It's not a real pashmina, I don't think. Bought it on eBay. It's definitely not 70% pashmina, but it might be wool and silk. I hope so. But anyway, for my use, I don't really need a really great authentic pashmina. This is enough, and what I use this for is, it's an alternative to a jacket at night. It's something that's much smaller than a jacket. It's something I can keep in my purse, my bag, if I'm going to a mall. So some will pack even smaller than this. So that's one usage, and a very good one. But I use this for one more thing. I live in an apartment with no air conditioning, and that's my choice. I chose never to turn on the air conditioning. I have a through draft, I have ceiling fans and mosquito netting, and I love that. I hate air conditioning. So when I got there, I tried using a regular cotton sheet as a cover-up at night, and that sort of worked, but I wasn't completely satisfied. Keep in mind, I'm really cold-blooded, so your mileage may vary quite a lot. So anyway, after a while, after having tested quite a few things, this is what I came up with. Cotton tights, socks, preferably ones that cover the ankle, otherwise the few mosquitoes that got in would hit me there, and a t-shirt which didn't cover my arms, and I need my skin to be covered, otherwise I will get cold. So this is rectangular, and it fit over my outstretched arms and over my bum and over my torso. It was perfect. So, so that's my experience. Okay, underwear. I like actually lace underwear because it's practically nothing. And there might be other types, but as small as possible and as insubstantial as possible. Occasionally cotton briefs, but these are really good. So I hope this helps. This is, as I said, based on experience with Thailand in November to February and beginning of March. Like I said, by my standards, the humidity is not that high. I have heard that some places in the world, your clothes will get wet unless you have them in sealed plastic bags. That hasn't happened that I can tell in Thailand, so it's not that humid. So depending on where you are and how humid, different materials will behave differently. I hope this will help someone, and I'll see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.